Hey Joe Brown, I just want to say big fan, and this is a response video to your why inflation is continuing to go up, and I think you're missing one element, and so I'm trying to bring in some evidence that I've collected in my personal life because I was recently kind of surprised by this myself. I think a lot of the quote unquote inflation we're seeing isn't a true inflation, and could be more so explained by corporate greed. So what do I mean by this? Well, prices are continuing to go up, but it's not necessarily because of supply and demand, the money factor or whatnot like this. It's just because corporations are literally just choosing to charge more money. And the example that I have today that was really surprising to me is McDonald's. I assume you don't go to McDonald's, but McDonald's is really expensive now. If you go and look this up online, a lot of people are complaining that McDonald's is really expensive. And so I was really shocked. And so I once again went online and I found like the 2020 price of a Big Mac, $4.59. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, if you look at these 2020 prices of these burgers, it's really not that bad. But, I went through and I recorded their menu today, and the menu today, everything is way more expensive. And like here, you can see the Big Mac now is $7.49. I mean, that's a big jump over 3 years. And that big of a jump, I wouldn't say is fair to be explained by increased cost of production and whatnot, because there really hasn't been that much of an increase in cost of production. And furthermore, McDonald's on their products, they have a virtual monopoly. What is it? The vertical monopoly. So they control their whole supply lines. So it's not like, oh, they got to pay somebody, got to pay farmers more or whatnot, because farmers aren't making more money, but they own all their own farms and everything. So, the Big Mac has gone up significantly in price. The French fries have gone up significantly in price. So, like a medium fry was $2.89. Now, I got my receipt here. I got a small fry today. So 3 years ago, a medium fry was $2.89. A small fry today is $2.99. And a medium fry was $3.99. So the price difference of the fries is now like $1 in sizes. And the thing that really bothers me about this price of these French fries is I got a large Coke. Well, a large Coke's $1.29. Well, back in 2020, they had the $1 any size soft drink, right? So from 2020 to 2023, Coke has gone up by 30 cents. But the fries have gone up by a full dollar? See, that doesn't make sense. And, this really got me thinking, and I started to look at Coke, and we'll go over sodas here in a second, because sodas are even more damning, and it's even clearer that it's just corporate greed, and companies are just choosing to charge more money. But if you do the math, French fries, as a percentage, are going up way more. And the thing about McDonald's French fries, I don't know if you're aware of this, is they have their own potatoes. Like the potato used for the McDonald's French fry is only used in McDonald's French fries. So McDonald's has an absolute monopoly over these potatoes. And there's no way you can convince me that potatoes have gotten that much more expensive to grow in the last 3 years. That can't be true. Their supply line costs can't have gone that much. So they're really just charging way more for their French fries than they ever have. And they're just doing it. They're just doing it. There's no reason. Inflation doesn't explain it. Nothing explains this except they're just charging way more for the French fries. And so that was really surprising to me. And, if you go through and you look at McDonald's revenue numbers, McDonald's is still making more and more money. Their revenue is continuing to go up. Now you can see the effect COVID had on them, but once kind of people started to go out again, McDonald's is making a boatload of money. And, how is McDonald's making all this money? Well, they're literally just raising their prices. Okay, they're not paying employees more. That's not happening at McDonald's. Okay, and then I don't think that they can show you, but I did find a news article. I couldn't find it again. I have to apologize. I'll try and find a news article again where they talk about that their sales volume is down, but their revenue is still up, which just means they're just charging more money. But the more damning evidence is Coca-Cola. Now, I talked about how the large Coke used to be $1 at McDonald's, now it's $1.29. So Coke has kind of gone up in price a little bit. But what's really behind the even greater increase of Coca-Cola that we're seeing? Well, if I go through, I got some pictures here. So you got like Dr. Pepper. So I got a picture of Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, and Pepsi, right? So the Coca-Cola is $2.68 at my local Walmart for a 2-liter bottle. Kind of expensive. And the funny thing is Pepsi, which is almost the exact same thing. I mean, commercially, it's the exact same product. Pepsi and Coke are the exact same thing. I don't care who you are, they're the same thing. Okay? They cost the same to produce, same distribution, same everything. Pepsi is 40 cents cheaper for a 2-liter at the base price at Walmart, which has never been the case as far as I know. Pepsi is 40 cents cheaper than Coca-Cola. Why? Why? It makes no sense. Besides, Coke is deciding to be greedy, and they're just charging 40 cents more for the product. Furthermore, I got the other picture here of Dr. Pepper and Fanta. Now, Fanta, if you look, has more calories, more sugar in it than Coca-Cola even does have. And sugar is the most expensive ingredient in these things. And so it makes sense that Fanta has the highest production cost, and yet Fanta for a 2-liter was $1.78. And see, Dr. Pepper's $2.68. So it's like, well, wait a second here. Dr. Pepper's getting more expensive, and they're charging the same amount as Coke. But Pepsi is charging less money, and for some reason, Fanta is even cheaper, which I think they might be a Coke product or a Dr. Pepper product, but they're charging less money for Fanta. But all of these products are virtually identical. So what this means is, theoretically, they could produce and sell and make a profit, a fair and decent profit, on their soda at $1.78. And so all of these companies are continuing to increase their revenues and keep their revenues up by simply raising their profits because their sales volume is across the board universally down. And I don't know where to find that information, but I'm sure if you could find the information, you would know the sales volume on all of these products is down across the board, but their revenues are maintaining or going up. I mean, Coke is taking a slight dip in revenue, but the reason that they're not falling off a cliff relative to their products is because they're just jacking up the rates. So the few people who are willing to continue to buy Coca-Cola and whatnot, they're just paying an arm and a leg for this stuff now. I mean, geez, $2.70 for a 2-liter? Oh my gosh. But that's not inflation. So to bring back to my original point, if you really look at this really tells you the truth. Coca-Cola is going way, way, way up in price, but not because of the cost of the product, the distribution, or anything related to cost whatsoever. They're simply charging more because you're buying less and their stock price needs to maintain or go up. They can't have their stock price do a Bud Light or they have to charge way more. And this is just proof. Fanta's the proof. Fanta being 90 cents cheaper than Coca-Cola in the 2-liter bottle tells you that they could produce Coke and sell it for $1.78 and still make plenty of profit, but their sales volume, if they sold it at that price and that volume, their stock price would really take a dip and their revenues really take a dip on a corporate level, but they would still be making a profit, for expenditures for the employees, for everything else. But their stock investors would take a hit and the CEO would take a big hit too. But they can't have that. But their actual employees could still conceivably get paid, and the company could run fine on $1.78. And in fact, they're going to lay off the employees anyways because with reduced volume, they're going to reduce their production, which means the employees that would lose their job even if their stock price went down anyways, they're going to lose their job anyways, because the volume is down, so they're going to lay off employees. So I just kind of wanted to show you this. I don't know if you want to do more research. I'd love to hear back from you. But I think there's a lot of evidence out there, if you really went and looked for it, to show that the inflation we're seeing today, because the economy is in a recessionary state in all other aspects, like small businesses, they are behaving in a recessionary way. Yeah, but these big corporations, they're just maintaining the revenues by literally just jacking up their prices. Like, they're way high. The prices of all the big name brands going way up. Coca-Cola is going way up. And I didn't get a picture of it, but the Sam's Club 2-liter soda is still 99 cents. So Sam's Club is 99 cents, and Walmart's making some kind of profit off of that. So, I mean, they conceivably, the soda could be way cheaper, but they're just choosing, these corporations are choosing to just charge more money. Anyways, thanks for listening. Like I said, big fan, and I really appreciate your time.